Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about one of the most common questions which is asked by the students who are studying physics in their high school or even at the university level. So this question is, what are the things which can cause the problems for the students? Because I've been teaching physics to the students for almost 3 years now. And during this period of time, I have observed that there are certain things which cause problems to the students again and again. Let's say I am holding this dumbbell in my hand and I am just accelerating it. You might be thinking that this topic is damn easy to understand, but this is where 70% of the students make mistakes. So in this case, if I release the bob of the simple pendulum from point A, then what would be the motion of the bob? The bob would oscillate between point A and point B. If you are a student and if you are facing difficulties in understanding these concepts, then please don't get demotivated. Instead of that, you should feel motivated to work harder so that you can score good marks in your physics exam. And apart from that, if you have any doubts related to physics, then please comment down below because I'll definitely try to answer all your doubts. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. If you really like the video, then please hit the like button because it motivates me to make more videos for you guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do subscribe because I'll try my best to make you fall in love with physics. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now let us assume that at point A, the bob is at its maximum height and in this case, the velocity of the bob would be 0. So this means that at point A, the kinetic energy of the bob would be 0 and the potential energy of the bob would be maximum. So at point A, let the potential energy of the bob is P. Then at point B, the bob would be in a state of rest, which means that the potential energy at point B would also be equal to P. So when the bob moves from point A to point B, what would happen is that the potential energy would decrease and the kinetic energy would increase. And since the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant, therefore at point B, the kinetic energy of the bob would be maximum. Now when the bob moves from point B to C, what would happen is that the potential energy would increase and the kinetic energy would decrease. So at point C, the potential energy would be equal to PC and the kinetic energy would be maximum. Now when the bob moves from point C to D, the potential energy would decrease and the kinetic energy would increase. So at point D, the potential energy would be PD and the kinetic energy would be maximum. And similarly, when the bob moves from point D to E, the potential energy would increase and the kinetic energy would decrease. So at point E, the potential energy would be equal to P and the kinetic energy would be minimum. So this is how the bob of the simple pendulum oscillates between points A and B. And if you observe the motion of the bob of the simple pendulum, you will notice that it repeats itself after a certain period of time, which is known as the time period of the simple pendulum. The reason for this is that they have not understood the concept of potential energy and kinetic energy. So let us first understand the concept of potential energy. Most of the students think that electricity is a damn easy topic to understand, but trust me, when the teacher starts asking questions from the students, then only they come to know that there are certain things in electricity which are not that easy to understand. The reason for this is that the students have not paid attention when the teacher was explaining the basics of electricity in the class. And apart from that, they also don't know the exact difference between electric current and electric charge. So let me explain you the difference between electric current and electric charge. Electric charge is a fundamental property of the particles like electrons and protons. And electric current is the flow of electric charge. In simple words, you can say that electric charge is the milk and electric current is the flow of milk. So if you see this pipe, in order to flow the milk from one place to another place, we need to have a container full of milk. And similarly, in order to flow the electric current in the circuit, we need to have a source of electric potential difference. So if you see this circuit, we have a battery which acts as a source of electric potential difference. And in order to flow the electric current in this circuit, we need to have a closed circuit. So this means that this circuit must not have any break in between the circuit. Let us say I am holding this dumbbell at a certain height from the ground level, and if I release this dumbbell from my hand, then what would happen is that this dumbbell would fall on the ground. So in order to raise this dumbbell from the ground level to a certain height, we need to do some work. So this means that this dumbbell has gained some energy due to its position with respect to the ground level. So this energy is known as potential energy. Whereas if you see this dumbbell in motion, so in this case, the energy possessed by this dumbbell is known as kinetic energy. And according to the principle of conservation of energy, if there are no external forces acting on the system, then the total mechanical energy of the system remains constant. In simple words, this means that the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant. So in this case, if the potential energy decreases, then the kinetic energy increases, and if the kinetic energy decreases, then the potential energy increases. So in this case, what would be the motion of this dumbbell? It would be a non-uniform motion. And in order to understand this concept properly, you need to understand the difference between uniform motion and non-uniform motion. So I hope you know that in uniform motion, the velocity of the object does not change with time, whereas in non-uniform motion, the velocity of the object changes with time. Since the velocity of this dumbbell is changing with time, therefore this is an example of non-uniform motion. Now if I keep this dumbbell in my hand and if I keep it at rest, then in this case what would be the motion of this dumbbell? It would be a state of rest. So this is how you need to understand the concept of uniform motion, non-uniform motion, and motion with acceleration. And once you understand these concepts properly, then trust me, you will not face any difficulty while applying Newton's laws of motion. This is the reason why I am making this video, so that those things which are causing the problem to the students, they can get some sort of clarity regarding those topics. Because I am going to discuss 3 things in this video. And if you are a student of physics, trust me, you will be able to relate yourself with all the points that I am going to discuss here. And apart from that, the second thing is that please don't get demotivated by listening to all the points that I am going to discuss here, because the purpose of this video is not to demotivate you. But rather what I want to do is that I want to highlight those areas where you need to pay attention and those things which you need to avoid if you really wish to score good marks in your physics exam. So let us start our discussion without wasting any time. The first thing which causes the problem to the students is misunderstanding Newton's laws of motion. Most of the students think that Newton's laws of motion are just 3 simple laws which are really easy to understand, but they don't know that there is a proper reasoning behind those laws. And if they are not going to understand the reasoning, they are definitely going to forget all the laws. Trust me, this is something which I have observed with my own eyes, that when a teacher explains Newton's laws of motion in the class, every student understands those laws very easily. But after the next day, when the teacher comes to check whether the students have revised those laws or not, then hardly 20% of the students are able to recall all the 3 laws correctly. The reason for this is that the students have not understood the reasoning behind those laws. Instead, they have just mugged up all the laws, and along with that, they are not even able to differentiate between different types of situations where they need to apply those laws. This is the reason why I am telling you that please try to understand the reasoning behind all the laws instead of just mugging them up. If you are going to understand the concept properly, then trust me, you will be able to remember that concept for a longer period of time. And apart from that, you will also be able to differentiate between different types of situations where you need to apply those laws. Let us understand this concept with the help of an example. The second thing which causes the problem to the students is the principle of conservation of energy. Now let us take the example of a simple pendulum. Now the third thing which causes the problem to the students is the basics of electricity. So these were the 3 things which caused the problems to the students.